Disclaimer: this video is created solely for informational purposes. Verify critical information from reliable sources. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to our channel, where books come alive on screen. Get ready for amazing wonders that inform, captivate, and spark your imagination. Join us in this literary journey where everything is an adventure. Blue Rain, The Sureños Story, by Subject Soup. Early beginnings. Our journey into the history of the Surenos begins in the mid-20th century, nestled in the bustling streets of Southern California. Originally, these gangs were not highly structured or interconnected. They formed organically in predominantly Mexican-American neighborhoods, where youth sought camaraderie and a sense of belonging in a society where they often felt marginalized. These early gangs were more about neighborhood identity than the sophisticated criminal enterprises they would later become. The early years of the Surenos were marked by a struggle for survival and identity. They were not alone in this landscape. Numerous other ethnic and racial groups formed their own gangs, leading to territorial disputes and inter-gang rivalries. The Surenos, in their nascent stage, were involved in typical gang activities like graffiti, petty theft, and occasional clashes with rival gangs. These activities were often a way for members to prove their loyalty and bravery. As the 1960s rolled in, the character of these gangs began to change. The civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, and increasing social consciousness across America influenced these young gang members. They began to see themselves not just as local neighborhood groups, but as part of a larger cultural and ethnic identity. This period laid the groundwork for the more organized structure that the Surenos would adopt in the following decades. The formation of a collective identity. The 1970s and 1980s marked a significant transformation for the Surenos. It was during this period that they began to adopt a more unified identity. The influence of the Mexican Mafia, also known as La Ine, was pivotal in this transformation. The Mexican Mafia, a prison gang, extended its influence to the streets through the Surenos, offering protection in prisons in exchange for loyalty and criminal activities outside. This era saw the Surenos evolve from loosely affiliated neighborhood groups into a more cohesive and structured organization. They adopted the number 13 and the color blue as unifying symbols. The gang's activities also grew in sophistication, moving beyond street-level crime to more organized criminal endeavors, including drug trafficking and extortion. Yet, despite their growing notoriety and criminal activities, the Surenos maintained a complex relationship with their communities. For many members, the gang provided a sense of family, respect, and protection in neighborhoods plagued by poverty and neglect. This dual nature of the gang, as both a criminal enterprise and a community stronghold, became a defining characteristic of the Surenos. The growth and spread. The 1990s and early 2000s were a period of significant expansion for the Surenos. They were no longer just a Southern California phenomenon, their influence spread across the United States. This expansion was fueled by various factors, including increased immigration from Latin America, internal migration within the United States, and the burgeoning drug trade. The Surenos' reputation for violence and their connection to the Mexican Mafia made them a formidable presence in many cities. This period also saw the escalation of conflicts, both within the Surenos and with their rivals, most notably the Norteños, who were associated with Nuestra Familia, another prison gang. These conflicts were often brutal and led to a cycle of retaliation that claimed many lives. The gang's activities also became more diversified, with involvement in human trafficking, weapons trafficking, and money laundering, in addition to their established drug operations. Despite their expansion and increasing criminal activities, the Surenos faced significant challenges. Law enforcement agencies, recognizing the threat posed by the gang, intensified their efforts to dismantle its networks. This led to numerous arrests, prosecutions, and long prison sentences for many of its members. The gang's expansion also led to internal divisions, as different factions vied for power and control over lucrative criminal enterprises. The modern era. Entering the 21st century, the narrative of the Surenos took new turns. Law enforcement crackdowns, including the implementation of gang injunctions and enhanced surveillance techniques, put significant pressure on the gang. These efforts, combined with community intervention programs, began to yield results, leading to a decline in gang-related violence in some areas. The modern era also saw a shift in the dynamics within the gang. While some members sought to maintain the traditional gang lifestyle, others began exploring alternatives. Programs aimed at rehabilitation and reintegration offered pathways out of the gang life for those willing to take them. This period witnessed the emergence of former gang members as community advocates and leaders, working to steer youth away from gang involvement. However, the Surenos continued to adapt to the changing landscape. The internet and social media became new tools for communication, recruitment, and the perpetuation of the gang's culture and influence. The gang's ability to evolve and survive in the face of adversity demonstrated its resilience and the deep-rooted challenges in addressing.